What is up, everyone? Welcome in to the Retro Sentai wrap up, where we are here to talk about some of the older episodes of Super Sentai, starting with Choujin Sentai Jetman, and moving forward. I am one of your hosts, Bryce West, a writer and editor for the Illuminerdi.com, and these are our other hosts.
What's good, guys? This is Blackwing 2040 here again to talk about some Choujin Sentai Jetman. And this week, these couple of episodes have been pretty good. Another pretty good amount of episodes, so I can't wait to discuss these things.
My name is Ian Klingler, and anytime anybody says Choujin Sentai Jetman, all I can think about is the intro the guy going, Choujin Sentai Jetman.
Ian, that was really good.
Maybe
you should do a cover, and we can post it on the channel.
Okay, well, will it have to be me speaking in, was it Mandarin or
Japanese?
Dude. Oh my god, I can't believe you just said that.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not serious.
Okay, so this man just somehow mixed up Mandarin and Japanese. That's okay.
Or English.
Don't mind us uncultured Americans over here. Anywho,
Oy.
welcome back to the show.
Oy, that's all I gotta say.
Honest mistake. We're here. Here on the.
I've had little to no sleep. Give me a break.
And we're here today for some 36 through 39. We're getting closer and closer to the end as we move forward here naturally. But Blackwing, I think you're gonna start us off with the first episode.
Yeah, so one thing I forgot to mention to you guys as we started the show, when we, with the Vyram, they really could. They're like a group of villains that cannot stand each other. Usually with villain teams, they're like, oh, we gotta do this so we can take over the world, blah, 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 blah. But the Vyram, they treat it as a game, a contest, because they all can't stand each other. Like, really, they can't stand each other. They really can't stand each other. So when Tran, he's like all, just because he's the young one of the group, the other members are just treating him like a child. Like, dude, you're such a. Even when Gray was trying to get himself into music, and this kind of goes into like the development of Gray, because even though he's a robot, he's fascinated about arts, and I guess he's just learning it from Maria/Rie. Mm-hmm. So he Gray gets pissed off at Tran, be like, "Oh, you don't understand culture. Get out of here. You're just a kid." So Tran just takes that to heart, and he just dips and just goes into a cave and like, I'm gonna show them. And but the funny thing is about the first part of this episode, the Jetmen are all on vacation, and they are on like a solid vacation for 8 minutes. I'm like, wow, a whole happy-go-lucky moment.
It's like, what's gonna go horribly wrong?
Yeah, I was like. They're just chill. 8 minutes straight, and no monster of the week has shown up yet. Nothing has happened yet. But whoa. So you have the Jetmen on like pretty sure somewhere up in the mountains, like a resort, playing golf, playing baseball. They have bathhouses, which is a common thing in Japan. Ryu, of course, deciding, the warrior spirit in him, he's always has to train, since, that's the leader mentality. He always has to be on top of his A game and all that. So he's training. Guy is teaching golf to some women, and Akko's like, Kari, Guy's holding that girl's hand. Aren't you gonna say something? And she just gives him the side eye. It was just like, wow. Just wow. Just straight up wow. But yeah. Tran had this plan to have ants, just straight up of all the things, just ants to crawl on people, and then ends up turning other citizens into ants. Even Kaori got turned into an ant. So she kind of felt like the damsel in distress in this episode, but of course the team worked it out. They destroyed the monster of the week, which was called Ant Bazooka.
Yeah.
Ant Bazooka. Quite a name.
Ant Bazooka.
Yeah, so they
Hold on,
destroy.
real quick. Let's rewind a bit. Can we talk about the second most disturbing thing that I have seen in Super Sentai Power Rangers so far?
What?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Where the mom eats the dog.
Yes.
Did you miss that?
Yes.
I probably missed that. I was like, what?
There is a
Yes.
scene where this woman eats her daughter's dog because the aunt makes them like super hungry and
Right,
stuff.
right.
And this lady literally eats a dog.
Good
Yeah,
God.
eats the kid's dog.
And then she's
And
happy
then-
about it too. Like she
Oh,
gives like a
yeah.
really weird, like creepy smile at the end. It was just like, whoa.
My head was
Yeah.
probably turning away from
I
the
mean, you
screen
don't
from that
actually see anything, but it's like there's a shot of the dog and then of the woman and then the girl walks up and then it's a shot of just the dog collar on the ground and the woman just goes like this and then smiles at the camera like all like creepy like.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
yeah, it was horrifying. The only thing more disturbing was Guy dies and the crystals coming out of their neck.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but that
It was also.
messed up. Like
It was
there.
also weird.
Let's hold on. This is
Hang on.
let's keep in mind this is a kids show. Let me
Yeah.
pull up the warnings for this episode on the wiki real
Oh,
quick. Because there's the most warnings I think I've seen. This episode contains scenes of minor blood, nudity, and cannibal references. Viewer discretion is advised.
yeah.
It's just like, well, yeah, and then there was we missed the part where Guy and Wright are literally spying on the girls in the hot tub, and then they push Ryu in, and the girls start beating him because for being a pervert.
Commander's like, Ryu, I never expected this behavior from you. Like
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Guy pushed me in
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Guy still has his trickery,
Oh boy.
despite even though Kari and him are a couple now, but
Yeah, this episode was pretty messed up.
Yeah. The weird thing about it is they like the people who were like mind controlled started eating like the cows like completely like raw.
Yeah.
And so they
That's
come to
probably
the next
not
day
healthy.
and
It's probably
yeah. And so they come in and it's just all bones. And then like at the end of the day, like all the cows are back. I'm like, wait a minute, how?
yeah, that's
That was
right,
kind of
yeah.
what
We'll just buy
Yeah.
new ones, I guess. So you go to the
Yeah.
cow store and there you go.
hey, wait a sec. I'm looking on the stream on the YouTube. All I see is a blue screen. Is that what you guys are seeing on your end?
Boy.
Just
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
Well, why didn't you bring it up before? Let's see.
I didn't
see
know
we
what
got
the
here.
problem was.
Okay. I have no clue.
Oh brother.
Let me play our intro maybe.
Say, can they still hear us?
They
at
can still
least?
hear us, yeah.
But they
Okay.
can't see us.
This is
Okay.
weird. Okay. Then we just came back on my screen,
Now I see it. Yep, we're back up.
but
But we all look frozen.
yeah, I don't know what's going on. You see,
Oh,
because the blue screen is like the end of the intro, but
Oh.
the intro that's not what I saw on my screen. But now it's just a still image of us just
Still
kind of
image.
standing there. I don't
Oh.
quite know what's going on here.
Oh no.
Well, they can still hear us, so I'm gonna go ahead and say we just keep going while I kind of see
I'll put it in the chat. Like
see if
bear
I
with
can
us.
figure anything out.
Yeah.
So
We are-
yeah, they can still hear us. So
Okay. You're
That's
having
good.
so let me see.
Yeah,
I should be like Bryce.
Yeah.
Bryce is on the case.
So does that kind of conclude our thoughts for episode 36?
Oh, forgot to mention the most important part. Tran.
Oh yeah.
Oh right, the actual story, the plot of the episode.
Yeah, Tran officially transforms into an older person.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue. For some reason.
The more I get angry, the more I grow.
see what happens if I use this scene.
Yeah, just like I feel like he could have done that this whole time, but he didn't. I guess all the name calling and the mistreatment that he gets kind of forced him to take extreme measures, I guess.
Yeah.
Set him to a boiling point.
Yeah. It's just like, that's it. I'm taking over.
But
Nice.
yeah, so what did you guys think about Tran turning into Tranza?
Quite the transformation. Fun
Yeah,
fact.
a little bit. Puberty hit in, I guess.
Yeah, heavily. One thing about this actor, he plays a lot of villains in Sentai, like a lot of villains. He played a general in Flashman, a general in Liveman, of course here in Jetman, and we'll see him again in Die Ranger. So we'll see this actor's face again, but he's a very prominent Sentai actor as far as playing villains, and I guess he like really likes playing villains, because I remember I was watching like the first episode of Flashman just to see what Flashman is like. I'm like, I see his face, I'm like, he's in this show too? I'm like, how many villain roles did this guy take?
Yeah.
He must really love playing villains.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what are you guys' thoughts on episode 36?
I'll give it a 4 out of 5, because it was rare to see how quiet this episode was for so long, for like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, no trouble for 8 whole minutes. Usually the trouble comes in like when the first 5. Yeah, the first 5 minutes, like 8 minutes with no trouble. That's a new record. But yeah, I gotta give this episode 4 out of 5.
I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I really, really liked, a new setting. It's, in some place quiet, some place out of the city, and also really seeing a development with Tran becoming Tranza and him becoming more powerful, I would say, as he was in this episode. It was really interesting to see afterwards what he was capable of doing.
Yeah, I think I agree with Blackwing. I'm probably going to give this a 4 out of 5. Definitely not perfect. There was definitely some weird moments in this episode.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed it. I like seeing more of Guy and Kaori. I like seeing Guy actually be a developing character, and that they haven't kind of gone back on his old ways since he's kind of changed and started dating Kaori. I like that they aren't going backwards with his development, because a lot of shows do that. And that's actually a constant throughout all 4 of these episodes that we're going to talk about today. Is Guy is actually becoming a nicer person, which is kind of interesting to see. So I really enjoy that so far in these episodes. Ian, I'm gonna have you do the next episode, since I am still trying to figure out why we're frozen.
Okay, so next up is the birth of Emperor Tranza. So this starts, the synopsis is with Tran reaching an adult form. The reborn Tranza decides to show superiority to all, including the Jetman and Vyram. So this basically starts out, I think, in the same way as ended with, Tran becoming Tranza. And then it cuts back to the Jetman playing golf, and they're like, come on, you got to do better. And they're having fun, and just like not to do anything in front of Ryu, and because he was training himself. And then it cuts to Ryu hitting a bunch of tree branches with his sword, and then Tran shows up in a tree. Don't know how he got there. I don't know if he just teleported there, or if he just magically appeared up there. And so he comes down and he starts fighting, and he literally beats the crap out of Ryu, and then he leaves, and then it cuts back to the other four at the golf course as guys teaching girls how to play golf, and that's whatever Akko was worried about Kaori. Like, are you okay with him doing that? And she's like, I don't really care. And then she's like, I'm just not going to worry about that. And then Tranza comes back, and he magically gets a golf club and a jacket and whatever, kind of changes his appearance every time. And so then he hits a ball, Happy Gilmore style, like way out of here, like way out of the golf course, and all the girls that were now on Guy or is now going to Tranza. Well, then it cuts again to Raita eating some noodles. And then Tranza's like, I'll have some noodles as well. And so they have an eating contest, which is probably the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And Raita loses. And so he falls down. So they're like, who the heck is this? Who is this person? And so then he leaves.
Good thing it wasn't beer. Because that would have gone south completely.
Oh, I feel like the Vyram could probably take a lot of, especially Tranza. I feel like he could have probably taken a lot of alcohol and not be phased. And so Radiguet finally shows up and is going to start attacking the Jetman, as like the Jetman are like, who the heck is this person? Have you seen him? So Radiguet comes over like, today's your time to die. And as he fires at him, he gets blocked by Tranza. And then Tranza finally reveals himself. And then he starts beating up the Jetman and the Vyram. So Radiguet, Maria, and Gray all show up, and he all defeats them. And so he returns back. They return back to their base, and Tranza sits in the chair, which is like the leader chair. And so all of them are Radiguet, Maria, and Gray are all pissed because they're like, you haven't defeated the Jetman yet. What are you doing? And I'm hearing myself. That's weird. Anyway, I can definitely hear that.
I'm working on stuff. Keep going.
Okay. So Tranza just beats up Radiguet, and so he becomes really the emperor. And so Ryu is like, I need to defeat him somehow. How can I beat him? And so he goes to this waterfall with Raita. And so Raita is pushing down giant logs. And so Ryu is like hitting them over and over again. And then he misses one. And then Tranza shows up and captures Ryu and puts him in basically a makeshift boxing ring. Like, the barriers were a bunch of barbed wire that were electrical. And so they're facing one-on-one. And so Ryu was so close, very, very close to dying. And so luckily Radiguet's like, I'll have you no fun, and throws a biodimensional bug, which was, what was it? Oh, it was Torpedo Piranha. So he shows up, blows up the ring, and then the other Rangers find him. And so the four morph while Ryu is being tended away. Tranza leaves. So the other four shoot the torpedo Piranha, and he blows up. Tranza's pissed and starts beating up Radiguet. And then he's like, Tranza's like telling Lord Radiguet, what is my name? And he says, Lord Tranza. And that's how the episode ends. So
I'll give my sense on this episode, because that the way the episode ends, you're gonna see I'll tell you guys this, you're gonna see a parallel of that moment in a later episode somewhere close to the end. But I really do like how Tranza just like steps in like, all right, y'all. It's like that I'm king now. I'm in charge. No one's like, I'm taking charge now. And even with Radiguet sending a monster of the week to just take down the Jetman and still fail,
Yeah.
that's definitely, saying something. But I also love how even Ryu got put out of commissioned in this episode, because I know that shock blow from that boxing ring was deadly.
Oh yeah.
So I liked how Guy stepped in, was like second in command, like, all right, Ryu, you stay here. We'll take care of this. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh. Yeah, again, like you said, Bryce, this goes back to whole Guy is developing. He's not the snob that he was like in the first half of the show. He really is developing. He's not, being, a jerk, a snob. He's actually listening. He's actually taking charge. He's actually doing what Ryu would have done if Ryu.
Right.
So it definitely, and I like.
Hi, welcome back. We were muted, but that's okay. We weren't talking
Yes.
about
All right,
anything
we're
too
back.
crazy.
All right, we're back in action.
So we're back. Welcome. I think we've got everything sorted out. It wasn't my internet, I swear. It was some weird back end stuff. But it looks like we're back. So thank you all for sticking around with us. Hopefully we can have a pretty epic episode for you guys here. So Ian, do you want to go ahead and go over 37 as well, and then I'll do or excuse me, 38 as well, and then I'll do 39.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. When the Jetman capture a biodimension bug, a friend of Ryu's tries to take it for his own glory, while Tranza tries to prevent its secrets from being known. So this episode is kind of a filler episode. Yeah. And so this starts off immediately with a fight, and they defeat it using the fire bazooka. And then once it's defeated, they freeze the biodimension bug and take it to some lab or whatever to see if there was any like weaknesses in the bug or something like that. And so Trance is like, I need to get that bug back. So he runs over and like causes, I think, a little bit of a ruckus. And so Ryu and his buddy, I don't know, Yanagi, I think it's Yanagi, are trying to say like, hey, this is for science or whatever. And Yanagi's like, I could use this for fame. Ryu is so confident. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's a ranger. And he's like, I can become famous with this dimensional bug. So he steals it. And so then the biodimensional like beast, like what was it, Hammer Chameleon, starts attacking, and so they all morph, and so they defeat it. I'm pretty sure. I think the chameleon was chasing Yanagi, who had the bug, because at first it was going to chase Ryu, and then it started chasing Yanagi because it knew he had the biodimensional bug. So he throws the bug into like a lake or whatever. The Jetman come in and they cut off the hammer part chameleon, and it falls into the lake. They defeat it, blah blah blah, and they're all celebrating or whatever. And so they're like, "All right, we're good." And Ryu's like, "Where did Yanagi go?" And so, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, and so the capsule then opens, unfreezing the biodimensional bug that they had, and makes a second hammer chameleon, which I think this is the first time that a biodimensional bug is either like a second version of it or like a second normal version of it, or it was like rebirthed again. So it was very interesting on that. And so he appears, they morph again, and they defeat him. It grows big. They use Jet Garuda to finish him off, and that's basically the end of the episode. Really, really is a filler episode, and I mean,
But yeah,
there's a
it
lot
shows
of
a little more of Tranza's power and stuff like that.
yeah.
So yeah, what would you guys rank the episode?
Going by this situation, because I've seen this kind of trope happen in Sentai episodes as well. Like, a friend of the ranger wants to do something so they could get famous, get fame and fortune, but it always ends up backfiring on them, or sometimes they end up dead. But usually with episodes like this, I'll give this one a 3.5, because like I've seen this trope of episodes many, many times. So yeah, I give it like a 3.5.
I would probably give it a 3, and I really liked it because the dimensional bug recreating Hammer Chameleon the second time, I thought that was a really cool idea because we had never seen that before. It's it's a different monster, but it's still the same. So I thought that was really interesting. Really wasn't, a big fan of the I want to become famous because of my friend ordeal. Really don't like those kinds of episodes, but I don't know. I really liked Hammer Chameleon for some reason. I was going to give it a 3.5 or three out of 5. Sorry.
There we go. I think I think 3.5 is a pretty good one. It's nothing too crazy, but it was still a fairly good filler episode nonetheless. But there we go. Now we will move on to episode 39, Spin Roulette of Life. So in this episode, Guy faces Gray in a roulette showdown in order to win back his team after they become captured. So,
A guy-focused episode, our
yeah, well,
favorite.
surprise.
Oh yeah.
Surprise. In this batch, we get Story, Ryu, and Guy. So, there we go.
Our 3 favorite things.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, on the Viloc, Tranza is punishing Radiget and Maria for failing at their jobs, and Gray is playing with a coin that he is tossing around, and Tranza kind of is like threatening them, saying, "Hey, if you guys can't defeat the Jetman, I'm just gonna go do it myself." Radiget is saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna do it, I promise." But then Gray stops him, and says that he wants to do a coin toss, and whoever wins goes after the Jetman, and he wins. And it's weird. It's an American quarter, so that was interesting. But they flip the quarter, and it lands on heads, so Gray goes. But then it turns out that both sides of the coin were heads.
A double-headed coin.
So
What if he called heads then? Would have both been tails, or that would have been my question? Is what if Radicat called heads, or what if he called
I guess Gray did it on purpose so he would win anyways, because
that's true.
But yeah, and so Kaori and Guy are then on some sort of like park date or whatever, but then they get attacked by Sniper Cat and Gray.
They
So
come
that
up
was
with the
fun.
most out. They come up with the most outrageous names for these monsters.
Yeah.
I mean, remember back when they were just using those spider dimension to create monsters out of inanimate objects? Now they're actually just using animals' DNA.
Yeah. But yeah,
Still
so
like
the
Sniper Cat.
Sniper Cat and Gray. So they
Sniper
get
cat.
attacked, and then the rest of the team shows up, and Sniper Cat is able to shoot them and turn them into little figurines, except for
I would say
Guy.
chess
Yeah,
pieces.
chess pieces, and then Guy gets away, but before he gets away, he's able to grab some components from Gray's chest and makes it back to the base. Guy's going like, boo hoo hoo, I lost my teammates, and then the commander's like, get a hold of yourself, blah blah blah. We know the drill. We're gonna get him back, and 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 so um yeah, that's kind of a thing. And so then Gray kind of comes onto the TV, in the base or whatever. So it's just like, oh, I didn't know they could do that. You would think that they would have been
Oh,
doing
yeah,
that a lot more. If
they
they,
can do that. They've been doing that for a while.
oh, they have. Well, then I've missed it
Oh
every
yeah,
time. What's going on,
I'm pretty
Donnie?
sure. I'm pretty,
What's going on? Donnie Pearson's in
I'm
the
pretty
chat
sure.
as always. Yeah. So it looks like things are going a little bit better on the live stream front. And
Excellent.
yeah, is this still a little laggy? I don't know what's going on. My internet, it's
Uh,
75 up. That should be more than enough to do the stream. So it's got to be something else. Probably maybe it's a computer issue. I don't know. I'll have to do some more research into it later. But anywho, and so Gray challenges Guy to a casino royale because Guy needs his components back because it's for his robot heart, I guess, and Guy obviously wants his teammates back. So they do a casino battle, and whoever wins gets the stuff back, and so they're doing this casino battle. I don't know what else to call it. And
basically.
there's a lot of cheating going on.
As
Oh yeah,
always, no one plays fair. No one plays
Oh
fair.
no,
man, but
especially Guy.
but yeah, and so yeah, especially but but yeah, Gray is absolutely kicking his butt. But then eventually, it goes down to the wire, and Guy bets his life. And then the commander kind of shows up out of nowhere, and she bets her life too. So it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, this is interesting. What are they up to? And then like Gray's like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, are you sure about this?
Like you show you want to bet your life on this.
Yeah.
This is
The
a
guy's like,
do.
yes, just do it.
It's like a
And
do
then
or die
and then
situation.
he bets everything on black because it's the roulette thing. And then it lands on red, and so it's like, oh, he lost. And so it's just like, okay, now what are they gonna do? And then all of a sudden the ball just magically rolls over to black.
Oh yeah. It's
It's like, okay, yeah,
uh,
he didn't cheat at all. And but he's like, well, hey, it's landing on black, so I win. And so he's able to get his teammates back. Um, and
and it
it turns
was
out that Tetra Boy picked up the casino building that they were in and and tipped it over to the side without them knowing. And so that's how Guy was able to win. And it's so
Yeah, basically everybody was cheating.
yeah, and then everybody
oh
kind of
yeah.
flies out, and uh uh and what, I've just completely lost track of my words. But everybody flies out, and then they kind of meet Gray and Maria and the Sniper Cat at the end, and uh they destroy Sniper Cat, and then Guy literally he has the last remaining piece of Gray's heart component or whatever. But then he just gives it back out of mercy. It's just like, what? Like, this is the enemy. Like, don't you think that things would go a lot easier if like he didn't have that piece and was destroyed? Like, why
Yeah.
did you give it back? It's
Right.
it's just like that didn't make any sense to me at all. But like, whatever. He gives his heart piece back. And yeah, the team kind of regroups at the end, and that's the end of the episode.
I give it a 5 out of 5 just because one, it's a guy episode, and first of all, the fact that you have him going against Gray in like a casino. I was about to say
He was wearing a tux. He was like, I'm gonna dress up for this occasion. He dresses up in like
like I'm gonna do this James Bond style.
Oh yeah.
Like I like my alcohol shaken, not stirred, please. But yeah, I give this episode a 5 out of 5 because guy taking over, Chris betting his whole life on the line, and then the commander showing up, she bets her life on the line, and then you find out, oh yeah, thank you, Toucher Boy, for causing the ball to shift so I can win. Thank you very much. So yeah, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a 5 out of 5 because it was kind of like the suaveness that, the confidence that guy had. And, it was just going down bit by bit. And then he's just like, you know what? I know I'm confident. And so I also saw like him in a one-on-one situation against Gray, which I really think has been built up a bit from the beginning, but really hasn't shown up until now. And I really hope that in future episodes, that one-on-one will be will come to a huge climax. But no, just the funny part of Tetra Boy just up there in the back, just holding the casino. I was laughing my butt off because I was just like, "Oh, hey, it's Tetra Boy." He helped it out, but no, this was a good 5 out of 5. Good episode. Good episode.
I'll give it a 4.5. I don't know if it's for sure 5 out of 5 material, but I think it was definitely a good episode, especially for not being story related. I think this was a really good filler episode, so I think it definitely deserves a solid 4.5 out of 5. So there we go. Does that conclude today's episode of the Retro Sentai Wrap Up?
I think that just about does it.
There we go. We've got episodes 40 through 43 coming up for next week. Definitely stay tuned for that. We've only got 3 episodes of Retro Sentai Wrap Up for the Jetman show, but then we're also going to have one last episode talking about the sequel manga that they did. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely stay tuned for that. Sorry for all the technical difficulties today. Things seem to be a little better, still not great. So hopefully we will have that worked out by next week. But again, thank you all so much for watching despite our technical difficulties, and we will be back for more Retro Sentai Wrap Up next week. Don't forget to follow us on social media down in the description box below, and subscribe to the Illuminerdi to be notified of everything going on here on the channel. Again, remember, here at the Illuminerdi, we're always watching.
Take care.